Welcome to our science program. Today we are going to teach you about the basic but most important things about the bones. But first, let's make a jump to the past and see the history of our bones.
During the scientific revolution, only some popular scientists talked about their investigation of the bone and the skeleton. One of them was Andrew Berzelius, who defined the composition and position of the human skeleton. But when William Connor discovered the X-rays, it was easier to study the bones and that way finally got rid of hilarious stuff. Thoughts like the one John Moore had explained to his students that bone is generated out of semen, fat, and earth by the power of heat and innate spirit.
Now we will talk about the bone's location.
Bones are located in different parts of our body, and each one has its own name.
Well, in our arms and legs, we have three types of long bones. For example, the humerus for the arm and the femur for the leg. Still, this is not all. In our hands and feet, we have two more types of bones in each, metacarpals and phalange for hands, and metatarsals and phalange for the feet. Since these bones are not located in a specific site, but spread in different parts of the body, the best plane to analyze them is the frontal or coronal plane.
That's easy because it divides the body in frontal and posterior parts, so we can perfectly see the interior of our bones with a better view than with the other ones, since it splits them by the larger half and it's more visible and easy to study.
Yes, now that we divided our bones with the coronal plate, we are able to study its internal structure, which is divided in two parts. The first one is the epiphysis at the center, the epiphysis at the rounded things outside, and finally the metaphysis between these two. But I don't know what kind of tissues the bones have.
I do know there are two types of tissues in our bones. One is the compact tissue. This one is a layer that sustains the body weight and it covers the spongy bone marrow, the tendon, and it's made of calcium and some minerals. Another type is the spongy bone tissue. It's located at the end of the long bone and it's very soft and it's surrounded by the compact bone tissue.
Now let's see some frames of the bones, the muscles and the lungs. Almost every bone is surrounded by the muscle tissue. That makes some kind of shelter that protects them from breaking. But the vertebrates don't have muscle tissue, like the other ones. They have the lungs. In this case, the bones are the ones that protect them.
Yes, we may say skin, because it protects our body from practically everything. It's the barrier that must be broken to get to our body, as bones protect some internal organs. And also we may include the liver, because it produces some go to the white blood cells that are created to fight diseases, like in the bone marrow, where there are also produced white blood cells.
First bone is first bone to form, and it will be formed after cardiac bone is formed.
First of all, our bones serve us for support and protection. With this, I mean that thanks to our skeleton, we have a solid framework which shapes our body. And some bones have the special function to protect some internal organs, such as the heart and the lungs are protected by the ribs.
Secondly, thanks to our bones, we are able to produce movement because muscle and joints are attached to bones and movement occurs when there is a pulling between them.
What kind of disease may bone get?
There are two mainly diseases, osteoporosis and fractures. Osteoporosis is a disease that causes loss of bone mass and it increases the risk of fracture. This disease is more common in children and elders. The unbroken bones or fractures are usually caused by falls or accidents, and the risk is even higher if you are older.
And there is something to stop it? Something like treatment?
For osteoporosis prevention, it is recommended to take calcium for a healthy bone and vitamin D, since it helps to absorb the calcium. We can find calcium in fruits and vegetables. Meanwhile, vitamin D is produced by our bodies through the exposure of the sun. In the other hand, to prevent fractures, we need to take care of ourselves. For example, to wear the seatbelt in the car and helmets when we are practicing sports, being careful in the stairs, etc.
But if you have osteoporosis, you need to exercise and, like we already said, to eat foods that provide you vitamins A and D in order to have stronger bones.
Well, then that was all for today. Thank you for your attention.
Bye.